Hello everyone, welcome to the US Immigration News. In 2025, under President Donald Trump, the US immigration system has taken a dramatic turn, and not in favor of immigrants. His administration has rolled out sweeping plans to ramp up deportations, promising to remove millions of people from US soil each year. The Trump administration, once that started with undocumented immigrants and then to legal green card holders, but now, in a stunning twist, even American citizens. Green card holders, once considered safe from deportation, are now facing a new wave of uncertainty as the administration tightens its grip on immigration policies. The situation might feel overwhelming. But let's face the facts, because this is what really is. In this video, we'll take a closer look at these new green card policies and much more. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it, so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. The latest confirmation from Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, has sparked waves of concern among legal permanent residents. Reports suggest that the administration is pushing forward with policies that could lead to the deportation of green card holders under specific conditions. But what does this mean for millions of immigrants who have spent years building their lives in the United States? Already we're seeing the fallout. Long-time residents with green cards, many of whom have lived and worked here for decades, paid taxes, raised families, and contributed to their communities, are suddenly second-guessing everything, terrified that a minor paperwork glitch, a decades-old traffic ticket, or an unresolved misdemeanor could trigger removal proceedings. Families are canceling travel plans, delaying medical visits overseas, and in some cases, even postponing weddings. Immigration attorneys report surging calls from clients who once believed their status was secure. Now uncertainty reigns where stability once was. In a move that has deepened the unrest, the administration has dusted off rarely invoked provisions to open removal proceedings against those deemed foreign policy risks. Student protesters displaying anti-administration slogans, human rights activists who have criticized U.S. policy abroad, and even scholars giving lectures on immigration have found themselves on the receiving end of notices to appear. It's a chilling reminder that the power of deportation, meant to protect national security, can be repurposed as a political weapon, silencing dissent and chilling civic engagement. Vice President J.D. Vance fanned the flames when he declared, "Even I, as a green card holder, don't have an absolute right to be in the United States." Such remarks blur the line between legal and illegal status, undermining public confidence in the rule of law. If the nation's number 2 official feels insecure, the rest of us cannot help but wonder, what hope do ordinary families have? But the administration's boldest and most constitutionally dubious proposal came when President Trump suggested deporting American citizens convicted of violent crimes, potentially shipping them off to prisons overseas. Imagine this: individuals born and raised in Detroit, Chicago, Miami, or Los Angeles, stripped of their citizenship rights and sent beyond our borders. The concept has met swift, bipartisan outrage. Legal experts across the spectrum are unanimous in their conclusion. No statute, no presidential memorandum, and no Supreme Court ruling grants authority to deport U.S. citizens purely on the basis of criminal conviction. Citizenship cannot be revoked as punishment. Only proven fraud or material falsehoods at the time of naturalization can form the basis for denaturalization. So why float a plan so blatantly unconstitutional? Critics argue it's less about enforcement than about fear, designed to sow chaos and uncertainty regardless of legal reality. By telegraphing the possibility of citizen deportation, the administration may hope to deter criminal behavior, intimidate critics, and rally its base around a show of strength. Yet transferring U.S. citizens to foreign jails would not only trample the Constitution's guarantee of due process, but would likely violate the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment. Beyond the legal quagmire lies the practical nightmare of negotiating with foreign governments over prisoner transfers, oversight, and standards of care. An undertaking so complex, it raises serious national security and diplomatic concerns. While courts would almost certainly block any attempt to deport citizens, the damage is already done. Mixed-status families face daily dread of midnight raids. Children worry about losing a parent at school drop-off. Essential workers, nurses, teachers, technicians fear that one paperwork error could derail decades of building an American life. Communities once bound by trust and mutual support are now fraying under the strain of suspicion and anxiety. Consider Maria and Jose, married high school sweethearts, both green card holders for over 20 years. They run a small bakery in suburban Ohio, employ local teens, and volunteer at the community center. When ICE agents served Jose with a notice to appear, triggered by a misunderstanding over his remise à jour of permanent resident paperwork, their lives unraveled. Maria has not slept through the night since. Their daughter, a U.S. citizen, worries that her parents might be shipped off to a foreign prison. At the local elementary school, whispers and stares follow the children of mixed-status families. In this community, fear has become an unwelcome companion. A recent national poll found that nearly 6 in 10 Americans support tougher deportation actions against undocumented residents and additional border deployments. Yet when asked about cutting federal funds to states that refuse to cooperate or eliminating asylum access, that support declines sharply. And the notion of deporting citizens, it is met with broad alarm across the political spectrum, seen as an existential assault on the principles that define this nation. From bus drivers in Phoenix to firefighters in Boston, from farmers in Iowa to tech workers in Seattle, the consensus is clear. Citizenship means something, and the idea of revoking it as punishment violates the very heart of American identity. What comes next? For now, the judiciary stands as the final barrier. Any citizen deportation plan would face immediate injunctions in district courts, appeals that wind through circuit courts, and if necessary, a landmark showdown at the Supreme Court. Yet legal victories cannot erase the palpable fear that has spread through immigrant communities. Even proposals left on the table can chill lawful behavior, discourage integration, and erode trust in public institutions. Meanwhile, enforcement actions on non-citizens continue unabated. New risk categories, ranging from minor tax infractions to participation in peaceful protests, have expanded the pool of removable individuals. Courts once focused on aggravated felonies or serious crimes now see cases involving parking tickets, unpaid fines, and administrative errors. For many, the question is no longer whether they will ever naturalize, but whether they will ever feel safe enough to apply. Experts advise green card holders and other legal immigrants to take proactive steps, maintain meticulous records, file renewals, and renew registration forms well ahead of deadlines, and consult reputable immigration attorneys if any legal issue arises. Some communities have organized Know Your Rights workshops, teaching residents what to do if approached by ICE agents, how to avoid inadvertent admissions of removability, and when to assert legal protections under the Constitution. For U.S. citizens, this moment is a stark reminder. Citizenship can't be taken for granted. Know your rights under the 5th and 14th Amendments. Stay informed about policy proposals and make your voice heard through civic engagement. Contact your representatives, participate in town halls, and support organizations dedicated to upholding civil liberties. Is citizenship an unassailable birthright or a privilege that can be revoked at the stroke of a pen? The answer will define generations to come. As courts deliberate, community leaders organize legal clinics, and families do everything they can to stay together. One thing remains clear: the stakes have never been higher. From city halls to federal courthouses, from dinner tables to protest marches, the battle over immigration enforcement is reshaping the social fabric of the nation. Whether you're a lifelong citizen, a newly arrived permanent resident, or someone still hoping to secure a path to lawful status, this moment calls for vigilance, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the principles that make America unique. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas, such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. Thank you for visiting us today, and we'll see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel for more U.S. immigration news videos.